Welcome to another edition of this assembly. I'm your host Sawyer, here to help you once again by facilitating your growth with Yahuwah, the Most High El. Last time I left, what was that? Oh, I need this? Okay. Alright, I was told I didn't need to wear that on camera. Anyway, last time we left off, we were in Bere'Shiyth chapter 31, and we ended with verse 32. And it was in verse 52 where we recapped that our favorite trickster and salesman of pottage, he had just slept on some stones that he, let's say, anointed with oil and turned into a pillar in dedication to Yahuwah. So now we're picking up with verse 53. The Elohim of Abraham and the Elohim of Nachor, the Elohim of their father, judged betwixt us. And Yaakov swore by the fear of his father, Yitzchak. Then Yaakov offered sacrifice upon the mount and called his brethren to eat bread. And they did eat bread and tarried all night in the mount. I want to thank the Father for giving us eyes to see and ears to hear, a voice to speak. And let us speak between you and me that we're going to hear these words and grow our relationship with the Father. He's going to bless it. And so be it in the name of his son, Yahushua. Now, if you don't remember what that was about, this was about that stone pillar that he set up, that he blessed, saying that if Yahuwah did this and did that, then he would be his Elohim. Should have said his El. But nonetheless, Yaakov, just like Yahuwah, made conditions upon being his subject. Just like Yahuwah made conditions whether or not he was going to do what he said he was going to do. All right, verse 55. And early in the morning, Lavan rose up and kissed his sons and his daughters and blessed them. And Lavan departed and returned into his place. This chapter was a huge dust alert. People seeking their own by any means. The full value system of sin is on display throughout. People acting on behalf of sin with no allegiance to Yahuwah. Yaakov would have been truly lost had not Yahuwah reached out to him to straighten his path. He knew that he needed Yaakov as a remnant for the future of his bloodline. In fact, he wanted Yaakov as a remnant. Never forget that the attributes of the dust from which we were made were not changed. It's still whimsical, it's still like foundation, it's still like loyalty, and all those other attributes that I named. From dust we are, to dust we shall return, again and again and again, until we die and return for good. All right, that's going to wrap up chapter 31. Now we're going to go into chapter 32, verses 1 and 2. And Yaakov went on his way, and the angels of Elohim met him. And when Yaakov saw them, he said, "This is Elohim's host." He called the name of that place Machanaim. Yaakov introduced the angels of Elohim to his people. It seemed to be a simple thing with him in this reading, as though he were used to seeing them. You would get the impression that there were no ethereal qualities in their appearance. In fact, unlike Elohim, it does not seem that these angels, whatever type of being they were shiny and or appeared mighty. Although I'm pretty sure they were mighty, and perhaps they could have changed their appearance so that they weren't shiny. Nonetheless, they seemed to be ordinary in their appearance like any man. Now, they seemed as though they may have looked like any other living soul. He told them that they were Elohim's host. He told his people that they were Elohim's host. In other words, they are those who represent, execute, maintain, and protect interest of Elohim, specifically Yahuwah. Verses 3 through 5. And Yaakov sent messengers before him to Esau his brother unto the land of Seir, the country of Edom. And he commanded them, saying, Thus shall ye speak unto my lord Esau. Your servant Yaakov says thus, I have sojourned with Lavan, and stayed there until now. And I have oxen and asses, flocks, and men servants, and women servants, and I have sent to tell my lord that I may find grace in your sight. Funny how he humbled himself to address his brother thus, my lord. His brother whom he sought to hold back since the womb. His brother whom he took advantage of. His brother whom he stole from by deceiving their own father. Now he has humbled himself to address his brother as my lord. Was he truly humbled? Or was this simply a tactic to survive his brother's wrath? Was it humility out of necessity or humility out of fear? Well, let's say all the above, because Yaakov, though he be great at spotting the advantage, though he be pretty good about, telling a lie, especially when it's a collaborating one, he's pretty intelligent too. And just like I pointed out the attributes that Esau had, the main one that he was a hunter. And there's something else that's not mentioned in Bere'Shiyth that he did as well that I'm not going to go into until we go to the book of Yasher. Nonetheless, Yaakov remembered, he knows that his brother is a skilled hunter. And he's a prey animal for the most part. So he know he wouldn't stand a chance against his brother. His brother would, take him out pretty easily. Not to mention the fact that he knew that Esau had men with him. So he's making sure he come very humbly. All right, verses 6 through 8. And the messengers returned to Yaakov, saying, We came to your brother Esau, and also he comes to meet you, and 400 men with him. There you go. Now, I know I said 6 through 8, but I'm going to stop right there. Because Yaakov, who's favorite now, has just been told that his brother had 400 men. He knew he had men, but 400 men, that's a lot of men. And they were all men. They were all fighting men. That's why they said he had 400 men with him. And he was coming to meet Yaakov. Now, I'm pretty sure his life flashed before his eyes just after his mother's warning flashed before his mind, before his ears. The warning that his brother purposes himself to kill him, and it will comfort him. So Yaakov is thinking about all these different things. Now, the one thing that I find interesting is that it seemed like he was traveling with the angels of Elohim. If that were the case, it don't seem very reasonable that he would still have fear for his brother if these angels were with him. So were they traveling with him, or did they just meet him? It seems as though Yaakov did not have the thought that these angels were with him and that they were staying with him to protect him. So I don't know what he was thinking about, why these angels were not considered, but he seems to be very fearful of his brother by sending these people out to meet him. All right, verses 7 and 8. Then Yaakov was greatly afraid and distressed, and he divided the people that was with him, and the flocks, and the herds, and the camels into 2 bands, and said, If Esau come to the one company and smite it, then the other company which is left shall escape. That's wishful thinking. Esau's a hunter. Even though he split his camp and split his belongings and people, it would not stop Esau if that's what he intended to do. With 400 men, Esau could have split his own troop to go after whatever remained of Yaakov's people and possessions. So yes, Yaakov was greatly afraid and distressed, as the scripture said. All right. Verses 9 through 12. And Yaakov said, O Elohai of my father Abraham, and Elohai of my father Yitzchak, Yahuwah which said unto me,
Return unto your own country, and to your kindred, and I will deal with you, and I will deal well with you.
I am not worthy of the least of all the mercies and of all the truth which you have showed unto your servant. For with my staff I passed over this Jordan, and now I am become two bands. Deliver me, I pray you, from the hand of my brother, from the hand of Esau, for I fear him, lest he will come and smite me, and the mother with the children. And you said,
I will surely do you good, and make your seed as the sand of the sea, which cannot be numbered for multitude.
Yaakov knows how to pray when he's scared. He also has a good memory of what was promised, his obedience. Ironically, he is confessing being scared here when not too long ago he was met by angels of Elohim. Why is he worried and scared when he knows that angels watch over him? You know, I can hear that Christian song, I got an angel watching over me. You know, do these people have the same capacity that Yaakov have? If so, the angel watching over them doesn't change the fact that they are very fearful of quite a few things, possibly and very much could include their own family, as in the case of Yaakov. Even though we have the intellect, or should I say the ability to read other scriptures that Yahuwah says, fear not, I am with you and will never forsake you. He told Yaakov that as well, but Yaakov seemed to have forgotten that Yahuwah is with him and won't forsake him. Verses 13 through 16. And he lodged there that same night, and took of that which came to his hand a present for Esau his brother, 200 she-goats and 20 he-goats, 200 ewes and 20 rams, 30 milch camels with their coats, 40 kine and 10 bulls, 20 she-asses and 10 foals. And he delivered them into the hand of his servants, every drove by themselves, and said unto his servants, Pass over before me, and put a space betwixt drove and drove. Yaakov put together a gift for Esau. Seemed more like a bribe, a payoff, a barter for his life. You know, he's good about that. But Yaakov was a bit more sneaky than that. It was his way. They were to pass over before him. In other words, they would serve as barriers, as obstacles, distractions that would give Yaakov time to flee in the event Esau had murderous intentions. He used his gifts and service as a pass-over, a protection for himself. And yes, he used them as a sacrifice. And we know that in order to be a good and acceptable sacrifice, blood would have to be spilled. The objective here was to spill blood of anyone except Yaakov and his family. It could also have been Yaakov's way of slowing Esau down, and just maybe it was legitimately a gift to say I'm sorry, to apologize, to try to mend things before they actually saw one another. Nonetheless, it was a tactic for sure that he wanted his brother to have a more favorable feeling when they met. And we'll find out how that goes in the next episode of This Assembly. I am your servant, Soya, saying enjoy this good day.